Srinandana Abhaya Karanada Sravana Kirtana Smarana Smarana Bandhana Sravana Kirtana Smarana Bandhana Pada Sevana Dachyare Sravana Kirtana Smarana Bandhana Pada Sevana Sudhamma Sachidanna Atmanivedana Sudhamma Sachidanna Atmanivedana Sudhamma Sachidanna Atmanivedana Govinda Dasa Vilasare Govinda Dasa Vilasare Govinda Dasa Vilasare Govinda Dasa Vilasare Bhaja Hare Nanda Nandana Nandana Bhaja Hare Nanda Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai Sri Krishna Balaram ki They are now about to take rest. So you are at this location now, eh? You're reading this section? You're reading?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is Madhya Lila,
Yes, Madhya.
chapter
20.
20. So some of you can follow maybe on your cell phone. Madhya Lila, chapter 20. What is the title of that chapter?
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Oh,
teaches to
text number 1, eh?
Yes,
So,
text
yeah. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami in the science of the absolute truth. Yes. So yes, so we're beginning a brand new chapter. Vande Nanta Bhutai Sadaryam Vande Nanta Bhutai Svaryam Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Nichopi Yat Prasadat Syad
Nichopi Yat Prasadatya
Bhakti Shastra Pravartakaha.
Bhakti Shastra Pravartaka.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has unlimited wonderful opulences. By his mercy, even a person born as the lowest of men can spread the science of devotional service. Bhakti Shastra. Yes. Text number 2. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Eta Gode Sanatana Ache Bandishale
Ita Gaude Sanatana Ache Bandishale
Sri Rupa Gosanira Patri Aila Hennakale
Sri Rupa Pati Aila Hennakale.
While Sanatana Goswami was imprisoned in Bengal, a letter arrived from Srila Rupa Goswami. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur informs us that this letter from Rupa Goswami to Sanatana Goswami is mentioned by the annotator of the Udbhata Chandrika. Srila Rupa Goswami wrote a note to Sanatana Goswami from Bakla. This note indicated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming to Mathura, and it said, Yadupate kva gata Mathura puri
Yadupate Gata Mathura Puri
Raghupate kva gato tara goshala
Raghupate Gato Koshala
iti vichintya kurushva manastiram
Iti Vichintya Purushva Manasriyam
nasad idam jagat itya vadharya
Nasad Idam Jagaditya Avadharaya.
Where has the Mathura Puri of Yadupati gone? Where has the northern Goshala of Raghupati gone? By reflection, make the mind steady, thinking, this universe is not eternal. So I think everyone knows a little bit about Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami being arrested because they wanted to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and somehow Srila Rupa Goswami had escaped, but Sanatana Goswami was still in jail. Of course, he eventually got out. In the meantime, this letter was sent, or note, and in this way, Rupa Goswami was indicating to Sanatana Goswami that Lord Chaitanya was going to go to Vrindavan and that he should join him there. Yeah. But, okay, in text number 4, Patripana Sanatana Anandita Haila
Patripaya Sanatana Anandita Harila
Yavana Ravana Rakshaka Pasha Kahite Lagila.
Yavana Rakshaka Pasha Kahite Lagila.
When Sanatan Goswami received this note from Rupa Goswami, he became very pleased. He immediately went to the jail superintendent, who was a meat eater, and spoke as follows. Tumi ekkajinda pira maha bhagyavan
Tumi ekajinda pira mahabhagyavan
kitab Qurana shastre ache tomara gyan.
Kitab Quran Shastre Ache Kumar Gyan.
Sanatan Goswami told the Muslim jailkeeper, "Dear sir, you are a saintly person," flattering, "and are very fortunate. You have full knowledge of the revealed scriptures, such as the Quran and similar books. Ekkabandi sade yadi nija dharma dekhiya
Ekabandi Chade Nija Dharma Dekhiya.
samsara hoite tari mukta karena goshana." If one releases a conditioned soul or imprisoned person according to religious principles, he himself is also released from material bondage by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, fairly substantial purport here. It appears from this statement that Sanatan Goswami, who was formerly a minister of the Nawab, was trying to cheat the Muslim superintendent. A jail superintendent had only an ordinary education, or practically no education, and he was certainly not supposed to be very advanced in spiritual knowledge. But just to satisfy him, Sanatan Goswami praised him as a very learned scholar of the scriptures. The jailkeeper could not deny that he was a learned scholar, because when one is elevated to an exalted position, one thinks oneself fit for that position. Sanatan Goswami was correctly explaining the effects of spiritual activity, and the jailkeeper connected his statement with his release from jail. There are innumerable conditioned souls rotting in this material world, imprisoned by Maya under the spell of sense gratification. The living entity is so entranced by the spell of Maya that in conditioned life even a pig feels satisfied. There are two kinds of covering powers exhibited by Maya. One is called prakshipatmika, and the other is called avaranatmika. When one is determined to get out of material bondage, the prakshipatmika shakti, the spell of diversion, impels one to remain in conditioned life, fully satisfied by sense gratification. Due to the other power, avaranatmika, a conditioned soul feels satisfied even if he is rotting in the body of a pig or a worm in stool. To release a conditioned soul from material bondage is very difficult, because the spell of Maya is so strong. Even when the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself descends to deliver conditioned souls, asking them to surrender unto him, the conditioned souls do not agree to the Lord's proposal. Therefore, Sri Sanatana Goswami said, somehow or other, if one helps another gain release from the bondage of Maya, he is certainly recognized immediately by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 1869, Nacha tasman manushyeshu kaschin me priya krittamaha bhavita nacha me bhavita nacha me tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. The greatest service one can render to the Lord is to try to infuse devotional service into the heart of the conditioned soul so that the conditioned soul may be released from conditioned life. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is recognized by his preaching work, that is, by convincing the conditioned soul about his eternal position, which is explained here as Nija Dharma. It is the living entity's eternal position to serve the Lord. Therefore, to help one get release from material bondage is to awaken one's to the dormant understanding that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. Jiver Sarubhai Krishna Nityadas. Yes. Madhya lila 2108. This will be further explained by the Lord himself to Sanatana Goswami. So these two potencies or energies of Maya are constantly at play in the material world. In English, it is referred to as the covering potency of Maya. The vast majority of conditioned souls in the material world are fully covered. They have no understanding because they have not had that great fortune of coming in contact with this knowledge. So they are covered. And that means that actually they are forced to act by the laws of nature. They are impelled, influenced by their previous activities in previous lives, and also influenced in the present life by the strong forces of the gunas, the three modes of material nature. Now the other potency of Maya is called the throwing potency. Throwing potency means even like all of us, we are fortunate to come in contact with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge, Vedic knowledge. And so many people who have this rare opportunity take up to spiritual life. But if one is not sufficiently attentive, then he will be thrown off the course. That's called a throwing potency. In other words, as long as we are in the material world, these are the two main forces of Maya that influence the conditioned soul. So that means that even as practicing devotees, we need to be attentive, we need to be cautious so as not to allow Maya to throw us back in a conditioned state. Yeah. So the point here also nicely explained is that because it is generally extremely difficult for the living entity to come out of Maya, that's why what is the living entity called? Nityabada. Nityabada means Eternally bound, eternally conditioned. Eternally conditioned means that as long as we don't come in contact with this knowledge, we will remain eternally conditioned. But our position is not to remain eternally conditioned, because our actual position is nityamukta, eternally liberated. Yeah. So Prabhupada is making the point here that Krishna becomes very pleased when someone helps a conditioned soul to come out of his, you could say, imprisoned. Yeah, because material world is prison house. And even Prabhupada gives a nice example of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who understood this point, of course, very well, and who used to say that with all the different temples, he had opened, how many temples? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had opened like 64 Gaudiya all over India and a few outside of India. And he would say that if through all of these efforts of opening all of these temples, if I could make even one person Krishna conscious, my mission would be successful. Means it is actually very rare to become a devotee of Krishna, and even more rare to become a pure devotee of Krishna. So we can understand how many people there are in the world and how many people actually know about the process of bhakti. Very, very, very few. Very few. Okay. As we read, if anyone has any question, you can ask. Normally we read for, I don't know, clock. We don't go too late. Yeah, normally by 7:30. We have it by 7:30, so that devotees can have a little bit of time before taking rest, not too late, so that we can all be here for Mangalarti at 5 o'clock. So we'll continue to read a few more verses. Text number 7. Purve ami tamara koryatsi upakara.
Purve ami tumhara koryatsi upakara.
Tumi amar sadi kara pratyupakara.
Tumi amar sadi kara pratyupakara.
Sanatana Goswami continued, previously I have done much for you. Now I am in difficulty. Please return my goodwill by releasing me. Pancha sahasra mudra tumi kara angikara. Punya artha dvilabha haibe tamara. Here are 5,000 gold coins. Please accept them. By releasing me, you will receive the results of pious activities and gain material profit as well. Thus you will profit in two ways simultaneously. Tabe se abana kahe shano mahashaya. Tamare sariba kintu kari raja bhaya. In this way, Sanatana Goswami convinced the jailkeeper, who replied, Please hear me, my dear sir. I am willing to release you, but I am afraid of the government. Sanatana kahe tumi na kara raja bhaya. Dakshina gyache yadi loiti aoyana yaya. Tanhara kahiyo se bhaya kritye gela. Gangada nikata gangadaki jampadilo. Sanatan replied, there is no danger. The Nawab has gone to the south. If he returns, tell him that Sanatan went to pass stool near the bank of the Ganges, and that as soon as he saw the Ganges, he jumped in. Aneka dakila taralag napaila. Dadukka sahita dubi kahan vahi gela. Tell him, I looked for him for a long time, but I could not find any trace of him. He jumped in with his shackles, and therefore he was drowned and washed away by the waves. Kichu baya nahi ami edeshe naraba. Darabesha hana ami makake aiba. There is no reason for you to be afraid, for I shall not remain in this country. I shall become a mendicant and go to the holy place of Mecca. Okay, the last verse for today. Tathapi yavana mana prasanna nadekila. Satta hajar mudra thar age rashi kaila. Sanatana Goswami could see that the mind of the meat-eater was still not satisfied. He then stacked 7,000 gold coins before him. Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. So we'll continue tomorrow from text number 15.